All right, we are now live on YouTube. Let me make sure it's muted so I don't hear myself talking to myself. All right, looks like we're muted. We're all good there. Again, nobody's really taken me up on this offer. So if you could, in the chat window, let me know that you can hear me. For one, that would be fantastic. And also let me know where you are from and what you teach. That would be great. Again, I'm not seeing anything in the chat window. There we go. All right, excellent. All right, we've got Texas in there. Welcome, Shelly. Jasmina, thank you for answering the question there. Appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to get started here in about 1 minute. But for the sake of some, housekeeping business, if you could, or leave all of the aha moments, things that excite you, that kind of stuff, that can go into the chat window. If you do have any specific questions, we'll put those into the Q&A box, and I will do my best to answer those as much as possible. And we've got Beverly from Cincinnati, not too far from here. And Shelly is an instructional technology specialist. Awesome. All right. Well, it is 3 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I am going to share my screen. I'm going to find the chat window and the Q&A box and move those over here so that we can see what's going on. And we are going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to Getting Started with Book Creator. I appreciate you all being here. My name is Jon Smith, for real. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you are on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If not, I'm also jonsmith@bookcreator.com. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions, things that need clarification, that kind of stuff. I'm always happy to help. All right, Claudina from Guatemala, welcome. We've got Jasmina from Sarajevo. That's awesome. I taught special ed for 12 years. I mostly 5th and 6th grade. And then after that, I was a technology integration specialist for 7 years, mostly at a high school. So after 19 years of teaching, I am now a teacher success manager here at Book Creator, which basically just means anything I can do to help teachers and school districts be successful in using Book Creator. That's really what I'm here for. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. I love golf and I love clean cars. So on the side, I'm a certified auto detailer. So if you're anywhere near Ohio and you have a dirty ride, come on over. I'll be more than happy to clean that ride for you. All right. Awesome. So again, today's agenda, we're really just going to kind of take that deep dive into all of Book Creator's features and get you excited about trying it in your classrooms. So first things first, if you've never used Book Creator before, then where you're going to want to go is, where's my browser here? Hang on 1 second. I got to pull up the right browser here. There we go. If you've never used Book Creator before, then this is the website that you can go to create an account. I will put that into the chat window. Now, before you get super excited and just start clicking buttons, you need to be careful though, because this big bright yellow screen is actually the student sign in. So you do not want to sign in here as a student. You want to click the little blue button that says switch to teacher. And then you have a big blue screen, and that's where you're going to sign in as a teacher. And you can sign in using Google, Microsoft, email, or Clever. And you can sign in using Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Safari. So those are the 3 supported browsers that we have. So you're going to sign in here. It's going to ask you a few questions. It's going to ask you to tell us who you are, what grade level you teach, what content area you teach. And then eventually it's going to ask you to create a library. And it's going to look very similar to what this library here is on the screen. Now, if you have the free version of Book Creator, you're going to have the ability to create 1 library, and you'll be able to use 40 books. So if you name your library demo or test or something like that, that's totally fine, because you can always change it later, and you can always get rid of that library and create a new one if you need to. All right, but once you've created that library, it's going to look like this, but it's not going to have any books in it. And before we get into all of Book Creator's features, what I want to make sure you see is these 3 black lines at the top left. And if you click on those 3 black lines, it takes you to the teacher dashboard. And again, this is where all of your books and libraries are going to live. And again, if you have the free version, you can make one library up to 40 books. And if you have the full version, then you can make 1,000 books, unlimited libraries. At the top, you will see a Discover section. And here in the Discover section, we have amazing resources. We have books here by grade level. So these are all books created by students and teachers in various grade levels. If you scroll below that, we have books written by our ambassadors, which are amazing. So there are just thousands of ideas for using Book Creator here. Everything from differentiation to formative assessment, digital citizenship, SEL. And if you click the little white arrows, there's even more. One of our newest books is science notebooks, social studies projects. And again, anything you can possibly think of, there are books here by our ambassadors for you. Underneath that, we have books by subject. And this is my favorite section because I think when you think of the word book creator, right, that's when the English language arts teachers get really, really excited. But there are so many other ways that you can use Book Creator in every content area. And so these libraries, if you click on them, will take you to a library. This one just happened to be math. And in it, you will see sample books for math. Again, various grade levels, various students. But I love this because it does show you that you can use Book Creator for just about anything. Now, also at the top, there's a button that says Learn. And in the Learn tab, you will see these support articles that will kind of take you on a deep dive, answering any questions that you might have about anything related to Book Creator. So definitely want you to take a look at those, especially if you are struggling or need some extra help. Then the next button across the top is our certification button. And when you scroll past that awful haircut that I have, over here on the left-hand side, you will see 18 videos that will take you on a deep dive into all of Book Creator's features. So Catherine Capiello, my other teacher success manager, and I, we did these videos, and it's awesome because, like I said, they're going to take you on that deep dive into all of Book Creator's features, giving you tons of ideas for using it in your classroom. And I think after today's session, if you have any questions, then this is really a great place to go to get that kind of refresher and kind of just revamp those ideas if you've already done the old certification. Underneath that is the quiz. And when you take the quiz and pass it, you will get a Book Creator Certified Author badge and you will get a certificate of completion. So this is really, really cool. So definitely make sure that you do that. All right. Moving into our library here. Now that we've created a library, the next most important step is to get those students into the library because that's how students are going to make books. Students cannot make books unless they join a teacher's library. All right. So once you've created a library, right here towards the top, there's a little button that says Invite Code. You're going to click that button and a code is going to pop up. Now, there's no need to copy that code down because every library you create is going to have its own unique code. All right, so create your library, get that code, and then you are going to give that code to your students. Whether you email it to them, write it up on the board, put the code in Google Classroom or Schoology or wherever you might put the information, you're going to put that code there for your students. They are then going to join your library, and then they will be able to do 3 different things. All right. Now, for your students, they're going to simply go to the same website, right? When they go to app.bookcreator.com, they're going to make sure they have the yellow sign in, and then they're going to sign in as students. All right. So just keep in mind, teachers need to be teachers. Students need to be students. We don't want students accidentally signing in as teachers. All right. Now, in the library, I mentioned that there's 3 things really that students can do when they join your library. And the first is that they can just simply read any of the books that you already have in there, right? So if you've created some books like I did here and you join that library, you'll just be able to view those books. They can flip through the pages, but they won't be able to do anything else inside it. The second thing is they can click New Book and they can make a book of their own right there independently inside your library. And what's nice about this is that as the students start making these books, you as the teacher can see all of the wonderful books that they've made because you are the owner of the library. All right, so we have some blank books here at the top. We have some comic books down here at the bottom. And for those students that need it, and for teachers that need it, we also have some amazing templates, because sometimes we look at that blank page and we just aren't really sure where to start, right? We're not sure what to do. So I absolutely love these templates. And as you click on these templates, everything here is editable. So I can delete the pictures if I don't want them. I can change the text. I can add my own pictures. I can change the fonts and colors. Anything you want to do here in these pages, you can. And what I love about these templates is it really shows you the power of simplicity. I mean, Book Creator is a very simple tool, which you'll see here in a little bit, but you can make something that looks very complicated, like these magazines, right? And so again, this is really awesome. So I do love these templates. All right. Now, the third thing that your students can do, if you choose, is they can actually collaborate together on a book. And so when you have a book here in your library, underneath there is a share button. You're going to click share and collaborate. Now, if you are on the free version, we have a trial. All right. So you can play around with collaboration for 14 days. If not, it is part of the premium version of Book Creator. But you can decide, do I allow everybody that joins my library to participate in that book? Or when people start to join your library, there will be a button here that says change. And if you click change, then you can choose which students work in that book. So maybe you have 3 or 4 kids that will work really well together. You can allow them to participate in that book. And then you just hit start collaboration, and then a new icon appears, and whatever your collaboration permissions are there in the book. All right, so I'm going to go ahead inside the book here, and we're going to talk about all of the cool stuff that Book Creator can do. Now, I mentioned to you that Book Creator is easy. All right, there's really only 2 buttons that you need to be aware of in Book Creator. The plus button, which allows you to add stuff to the book, and the I button or the inspector, which allows you to change it. Sorry if I didn't catch the mute button there in time. I've had a bad case of sneezes today. All right. So plus button allows you to add stuff. The inspector button allows you to change those things. All right. So plus button. What kind of things can I add into a book? Well, I can add media, shapes, more, and down here at the bottom, if you chose the comic option, you have comic features. All right. So let's start with shapes. So here in shapes, we've got some pretty standard shapes that you can click on, you can resize, you can move around, you can rotate. And if you click the inspector, you can change the colors, shadows, and border. Now, some of those shapes, this one included, will allow you to type inside of that shape. And so now instead of a house, a car, or Mickey Mouse, now you can use those shapes to create timelines, graphic organizers, mind maps. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do, even labels on top of diagrams and drawings and things like that. So the shapes are really fantastic. And again, if I click the inspector, I can change the color of that shape. And because I put text in there, now I can change the text settings, like the fonts, colors, and sizes of that text. All right, so really awesome things there inside of the shapes. Plus button. Also under the Shapes tool is a search bar. Now, if you do have the full version of Book Creator, the paid version, then this search bar becomes active. All right, and inside this search bar, I can type in just about anything and an icon will come up. So this is a partnership we have with the Noun Project. And so any icon that I click on, I can add it right here inside of the book. Now, what's cool is that there are roughly 2 to 3 million icons inside the search bar. Why is this important? Because there are icons for everything. So science, social studies terms, you can use this for vocabulary. There is just a plethora of ideas for using this. And I absolutely love these icons because they can also just make your books look cooler, right? By adding these really awesome icons and images. All right, so there you go. There's one of the icons that has been added. All right, and again, if you click the inspector, you can change the color of that icon. Next, plus button, media. Now, this is where the bulk of Book Creator's good stuff exists, right here under the media button. So we're going to start with images. Now, the image search is really powerful. One, because it's right here within Book Creator. I don't have to have my kids go out to other websites and search for random things. This search is right here. And if I click search and I type in my image, I can get all of it here. So I typed in car and I get all these beautiful images. I'm going to choose the one that I want and I'm going to click click on it, and then click add. And that beautiful image gets added right there to the page. Now, what's nice about these images too is that they are, first of all, just beautiful, right? They are from Pixabay, so they are safe to use, they're free to use, and free to modify. So these are the most copyright-free images that you're going to find. And again, they are gorgeous. These are not the grainy thumbnails that kids like to find and drag into presentations, right? These are beautiful images. And then if you click the image and click Inspector, you can even add a hyperlink. So you can link your image to a specific website or to a specific page in the book. And you can even add accessibility text. And so if I type in something like white Ford GT with black stripes, then when somebody with visual impairments goes to read the book, it will say image, white Ford GT with black stripes. So again, really awesome stuff here with these images. Plus button, media. The next one down is the camera. And with the camera, you can do some pretty cool things. First, you can take a still picture, which is pretty self-explanatory. But my favorite is to record video. So you click on it, it gives you a countdown. Hey, Mr. Smith, today in class, you talked about angles, and I could care less until I got home and realized there's a 90-degree angle right there between the ceiling and the wall. All right. And so this allows students to record videos right here within Book Creator. And what I love about this is that students can take whatever it is that they learned in school and now find it here in the real world. And they can document that learning, whether it's in a digital portfolio style or in a book like this. It's totally up to you, but the kids can do some really amazing things. All right. Now it's going to take a second there for that video to load. Once it's there it is. I can resize it. I can move it around. And there's a few other cool tricks too. If I click the video and click the inspector, I can even add captions to that video. So if you wanted to add captions, you can certainly do so. All right, so that is video. Plus button, media. The next one down is the pen tool. And what I love about the pen tool is that it is amazing for all kinds of different things. If I click the black dot, I can choose my colors. Guaranteed, your kids are going to go down here to the magic ink. I have a brush. So I have a marker, a brush, a crayon, a highlighter. These are all really cool because now I can draw on the page. I can highlight words. I can underline things. I can label things on diagrams or circle locations on maps. There's so many ideas there. But my favorite pen of all is this one right here, and that is the auto pen. And the reason I love the auto pen is that it makes me look like a much better artist than I actually am. So I'm going to try to draw for you a bike. All right. Now, I'm already upset because my bike is hideous, right? This is not a bike that anybody would want to ride at all. But at the top of the screen, the auto draw is trying to figure out what it is. Is it a tractor? It is not. Is it a pair of glasses? Only if they're broken. All right. Ooh, it's a bike. And I've got some pedal bikes here and I've got some motorized bikes. So I'm just going to go with the motorized bike. I'm going to click on it. And guess what? It fixes my drawing and it actually makes it look like a bike in this case. So I'm super excited. Now I can click the X. I can click my colors, maybe go to my magic ink, go to my fill bucket. And now I can fill in this magical bike. And now it looks like a Book Creator logo on wheels, right? So now I'm super excited. I can resize it. I can rotate it. And this is totally cool. Your kids will absolutely love the auto draw. And if we're honest, so will you. All right. A lot of kids, when they get to be above about fifth grade, start to come up with the excuse that they can't draw, right? They're not artists. They're not very creative. And that's okay. Because guess what? You don't have to be. You can give it a shot. Book Creator tries to figure out what it is. And then you can add that straight into the page. All right. So that is the pen tool. Next, plus button, media. It is a book. We're probably going to want to put some text in there at some point. So I'm going to click text. I'm going to choose a style and I'm going to hit text. And then I can manually add some text in there. Maybe I copied some text from somewhere else. I could paste it right inside that box. But my favorite button of all is this one right here. And that is the microphone. And the reason I love the microphone is because it allows anybody to use their voice to then type. My students call this writing with your face. All right. And this is awesome. And here's how it works. Click the microphone and choose your language from the drop-down. Start speaking in that language. And that's it. So if I would have chosen Spanish from that drop-down and started speaking Spanish, Spanish text would appear with all of the accent marks. This is very powerful. And again, my students call this writing with your face, which is a game changer for kids who maybe struggle with their spelling or struggle with finding the keys, right? Or for honest, teachers who struggle with spelling and finding keys on their keyboard. This is a really cool tool. Click done, and there is your text right there on the page. Now, the other thing that I enjoy about this is that when I speak to it, it understands what I say. Siri thinks I have a mouthful of marshmallows, but Creator just gets it, right? So this is a really, really powerful tool. Now from here, I can click on my text, I can click the inspector, and I can change the size of the text, the fonts, the colors, etc., all right here. And we do now have the ability to indent. So if you click in front of your text and click tab, it will indent, and now it will start to look like paragraphs. You can also do that straight from the start. So if I'm here and I click the tab button and then start text, there it is. It will indent it there as well. All right. So lots of awesome options here for text. Great question, Shelly. Can it read it back to you? So from this screen right here, if I click in here and highlight the text, we do not have the ability to read it back unless you are using something like on my computer, I can click the speech button and have it start speaking. So if the accessibility options on the computer are turned on, then students can have it read back to them from this screen. All right, which is really cool. We do also, however, Shelly, have a read mode. So if I click this play button here at the top, it brings my book into read mode, and I can click the button that says read to me, and it will read the page to me. And so that way, as a student, I can listen and say, yeah, that sounds like it needs to, or it doesn't, and I need to go make some changes. All right, awesome. Plus button, media. The next one down is the record button. And I love the record button because it allows me to record my voice right into a page. So I click record, I give it that, hit start recording. It gives me that little countdown. Hey, everybody, Jon Smith here. I just want to give you a warning. The UPS driver just showed up, and if he knocks on my door, my dog is going to go absolutely crazy. All right, so I hit use recording, and there is my recording. And that is a true story. So if that happens, my apologies. But here is the audio that is associated with this, what I just said. And so I can resize this, I can move this around, and it's awesome. Yeah, Jasmina, I love that your students love the record button. I think my absolute favorite part about this is that it just puts the student voice right there inside of the book. So it's great for their own voice, like reading fluency, sound effects, music in the background. There are so many different things that you can do with that record button. So definitely want you to check that out. All right, so there it is in the book. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to delete it, and then we're going to go ahead and move on. All right, next, plus button, media. All right, now, total side note, the UPS guy, he's gotten really good. He knows that I have a dog, and he knows that I work from home and do lots of webinars. So he's gotten very good at silently walking up to the front porch and putting a package. So excellent work there. All right, anyway, big shout out to my UPS driver. Fantastic. All right, next, plus button. Way down here underneath media, there is an option for comics. Now, I want to take a step back for a second. I'm going to go back into the library. If you click new book and you choose the top 3 books, you will not get the comic options. Those are our plain or standard books. If you choose to make a book from the bottom row, then you do get the comic options. All right, so if you get into Book Creator and you don't see the comic options, then you chose the wrong style when you click new book. All right, so that's a common mistake that a lot of people make. So I just want to make sure we kind of clear that up right from the start. All right, so from here, if I click on the comic panels, I've got all these different styles of panels. And so I just choose the panel that I like. It adds it to the page. And then I click the plus button inside the panel. And I can choose to add an image from the web, from my camera, any images I might have on my computer, or images I might have in my Google Drive. All right, so we'll take that, use that picture, and it will add it right inside the panel. and it fits perfectly. If I don't like the way it's positioned, I can click the little arrows. I can drag it around and get it exactly the way I want. And again, now you can start to see we're starting to make comics. Now, I love comics. Some adults don't. Some kids don't. Most kids do. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And here's why. Because comics are awesome for all kinds of different things. So when I click the plus button, I can now add a speech bubble. And so now we're using comics for dialogue, right? So I can type in this, of course, if I wanted to. If I click the plus button, I've got thought bubbles. So now we can see what our characters are thinking. We can also add special stickers to give some emotions, right? And some crazy feelings for how things are going on this comic. So comics are awesome. They're also great for storytelling, narratives, storyboarding, larger stories. And they're also wonderful for sequencing and step-by-step directions. I've even seen students using comic books to create or to solve math problems. So really awesome ways to use it. You can use it for timelines. I mean, you name it, there's an awesome way you can use comics. And then if I click this outside white edge and click the inspector, I can even add these really cool backgrounds. And now you can see that it's really starting to come together, really starting to look like a comic book. All right, I'm going to click the arrow. And when I go to a new page and I click on the blank page, I can click the inspector again. And I can add these comic backgrounds, not even behind a comic, but just as a page background if I want. We do also have colors that you can choose from. If you don't like ours, you can click the plus button and add your own color here. If you know the hex code color for your favorite color, you can put that in there as well. We also have different paper backgrounds. So we've got some math paper, we've got some writing paper, all right, and we've even have music paper. And then we also have different borders that you can choose from. My favorite is the book creator border. We also have different patterns that you can choose from. Love the clouds or the night sky. And we have really cool textures. My daughter calls this one unicorn paper. So we've got unicorn paper, we've got marble, chalkboard, and some others there too. So again, really awesome opportunities to have some cool backgrounds. All right, now a brand new feature that we just added to Book Creator last week is now available. And so inside of Book Creator, down at the very bottom, there is a new plus button with a speech bubble. And when you click on that, it now allows you to comment and give feedback on student work. So this is awesome. And for everybody that has been using Book Creator, they're like, this is a game changer. They're super, super excited about this. And so now when I click add comment, I can add some text-based comment and click post. And my students can now see that on their pages. They can even react to it if they want with these little emojis. All right. And they can change that if they want to. There we go. As a teacher, you can click the three dots and you can even delete the comment if you want. And anything that's been deleted is here under the all comments drop down. You can find all of your deleted comments. Now, that's awesome. But in true Book Creator fashion, that's not enough. So when you click add comment, you can also add comments in video format, audio, emojis, Giphies, stickers, and animated emojis, right? So if somebody's doing some really awesome work, give them a little clap, right? Give them a little clap there. Maybe you want to add a feedback sticker and say, hey, you're doing a really good job, right? You click post, and then that sticker gets in there. All right, so I love those because they remind me of like the scratch and sniff stickers of the 80s, which is when I grew up. So I absolutely love this. Now, from here, you can put up to 200 comments on a page. I don't recommend it because you'll be scrolling for a while, but it is possible. And then guess what? There's an even cooler aspect to this. As the teacher, when students start making comments on your books, guess what? Right here, there's a bell. And inside that bell, you get notifications. So anytime a student makes a comment, creates a new book, that kind of stuff, it all shows up right here in your notifications. And you can click on a notification and it will take you right to that section inside of the book. So very, very cool features there. Another set of newer features that we have under the teacher dashboard is a section here called apps. Now in the app section, these are not turned on by default. So if you are perfectly happy with using Book Creator the way it is, fine, great, keep going. But if you need Book Creator to do a little bit more, then guess what? We have this entire section of apps. And so you're going to click on one of the apps. I'm going to disable this one real quick. You click on the app, and then you can see some privacy details. Definitely recommend you taking a look at these. We give you a little cheat sheet of all of the important stuff to note. Specifically down here, be aware of age limits that there might be on the apps. So take a look at the privacy, and then when you are ready, click enable. You can choose which student libraries get to see it, or you can choose all of them if you want. Click done, and it is now green. It's got a little green check mark there, and it's ready to be turned on. The top 4 apps are free. The bottom 4 apps are not. They're part of our premium account. All right, so let's go back into a book and explore what this looks like. So I just go to a page like I normally would. I click the plus button, and instead of choosing media, shapes, or comics, I'm going to choose the button that says more. And under more, all of the apps that I have turned on are there. So if I want to add a Giphy, I can click and I can add a GIF right to the page. Now, we're not going to talk about the educational value of GIFs. That's probably a whole separate webinar, but there are some. All right. And I love adding GIFs to because it does just give you this really cool animation kind of, right, in a book. It really enhances the story. So I absolutely love the GIFs. There are also Giphy stickers. So if you don't like the GIFs that have the square backgrounds, I can choose a GIF that is a sticker. And when I move it off the page, you'll see here that it doesn't have a background. So if you want to, put lovable, furry, huggable Grover into a, forest or into a car dealership or wherever you want to put Grover, Sesame Street, you can certainly do that. And you'll have all those amazing backgrounds behind the Giphy. All right. We also have Canva. So if you are a fan of Canva, we do have an integration with Canva. So you sign in with your school license. And then here we've got these awesome templates, right, that Canva has helped make. And so I click on one that I like. Here's one, International Children's Day. I can change the text. I can change the colors. I can change backgrounds, whatever I want right here within Canva. And then when I click add to book, it adds that Canva design right into your book. Now, here's a fun fact. If you go back to the page that is labeled as cover and go into Canva, then guess what? It will recognize that you're on a cover, and it will give you a whole bunch of beautiful covers that we have designed with Canva. All right. So if I click on the tail of a monster, I can get rid of this monster. I can add another monster in there if I wanted to, change the color, whatever. And again, click add to book. And then it takes that Canva design and it adds it right to the book. And then I can take whatever that design is and click the plus button and add my Book Creator goodness right on top. So if I wanted to record a voice, I can do that, right? Gives me a countdown again. The Tale of Monster Falls by Yale Amari. Click on it, and there it is. Now I can put that little audio button right there so the kids can hear the title being read to them. All right, so anyway, love the Canva integration because it is awesome. There's my Children's Day book cover. There we go. Plus button, more. We have Bitmojis. Bitmojis are only available to teachers because you have to have a Snapchat account. If you don't have a Snapchat account, don't worry. There's also the Bitmoji Chrome extension, which just needs an email. So you can use either one. We have 3D models, which are super amazing. So I click on a 3D model that I like. It'll show up here. And then once it's done loading, I can see and click on it. And I can actually scroll around and look at the different ups and downs, insides and outsides. Click add. Excuse me. And then that 3D model is added right there inside of the book. Now, be cautious because this one is definitely meant for older students, but that doesn't stop you as a teacher to put some of those 3D models into a book directly so that your students can view them. All right, so anyway, some really awesome 3D models. Under more, we also have those feedback stickers again, and we have some other things like animated emojis, Google Maps, Google Drive, files from your computer, and we even have an embed code. So if you want to embed something from anywhere else, basically, that has an embed code, you can do so, like YouTube, Vimeo, Soundtrap, Desmos calculators, Padlet, Flipgrid. Again, anything that has an embed code. All right, now I'm going to back out of the book here for a second, And we're going to kind of wrap things up here today with some other features that you will find under each of your books. So underneath the book, if I click the book icon, I can move my book from one library to another. So if a kid accidentally makes a story in the math library, they can move it. You can copy a book. So if you want to make multiple versions of this book, you can certainly do so. Or if your kids want to copy a template and put it into the library, they can. So they just click copy book. They choose the library that you're in, and it makes an exact copy that student can now edit. It doesn't mess up the original. Of course, you can delete the books if you no longer need them. And my favorite button is combine books. So in this case, every student makes a book. You click the books that you want in whatever you want, order you want, click next, and it takes a copy of those books and pulls them in together into one big book, which is totally awesome. And then we have the share button. And when you click share, we've already talked about collaboration. You can download your book as an EPUB. You can print your book out as a PDF. So what this does is it saves your book as a PDF, and then you print it on your own printer or at school, or you can send it somewhere if you want to. One of our ambassadors, Mira Campbell in Canada, she does a lot of printing with her students. So they actually make these amazing books and she prints them out and it gives them to the kids as gifts. So I think she uses a company called Picto to send her books to. So there's lots of options there. But my favorite is the share button and publish. And the reason I love this is because you can give it a title, an author, a description, decide if it's going to be private, meaning only people with the link can see it, or if it's going to be public, meaning that people all over the web can find your book. And you can decide if you want people to be able to make copies. Will be online here. Oh, my internet wants to fight with me. There it goes. And then you can take this link, copy it, and share it out there with whoever you want. And when people start reading your book, this is where the real power starts. There is analytics. And so you can see how many times your book has been read, what countries your book has been read in. And I'm telling you right now, there's nothing more engaging to that kid who did not want to write in the first place than telling that student that their book has been read in 75 different, or I'm sorry, been read 75 different times in 13 different countries. You will see your students change right before your eyes because they will be super, super excited about that. Okay? All right. So that, everyone, is Book Creator in a nutshell. Now, again, I know if that went fast and you have more questions, please don't hesitate to check out the certification section because it will give you that deep dive into all of Book Creator's features. I don't see any questions in the Q&A box, but I'll stick around here for a minute or two to see if there are any leftover questions. If there are, put them in the chat window, put them in the Q&A box, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. But as I mentioned earlier, this recording will be available on our YouTube channel sometime either later today or more likely sometime tomorrow. All right. So if you don't have any questions, again, I'll stick around. But for those who did not have and want to leave, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great day and happy bookmaking, everyone. All right. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. My apologies for the sneezing again. All right. Not seeing any questions over there or in the chat window. All right. We're going to shut things down.